Born 31 years to the day after the June 6, 1889 Great Seattle Fire, Ruby Chow was another formidable force of nature. While the blaze converted more than 30 blocks of downtown to cinders, Chow erected powerful bulwarks to shield her beloved Chinatown. A steely resolve and fierce intelligence ensured that she commandeered every room. The 2 sacred hours she took each morning to assemble her signature towering beehive doubled as thinking time. She was ready, says her son Mark, a retired King County District Judge, for the opera of life. Her father, Jim Marr, was a dock foreman at the San Juan Fishing and Packing Company on the Duwamish East Waterway. On that dock, Ruby was born. She was the first daughter among 10 children. Marr later fled to China after an assassination attempt and never returned. Without a provider, the children knocked on restaurant back doors begging for scraps. At 12, Ruby made a promise to herself: if she ever had the means to help others, she would. She moved to New York in her teens, meeting Cantonese opera star Ping Chow. With him, she came back to Seattle, and in 1948, at Broadway and Jefferson Street, opened Ruby Chow's, Seattle's first Chinese restaurant outside Chinatown. From the first night, the place was packed. The eatery became a political salon. It was also where Bruce Lee, son of one of Ping's former opera colleagues, arrived from Hong Kong in 1959. Ruby gave the future action star a room and a job. Her growing influence employed sharp elbows. When health officials ordered Chinese restaurants to discard bamboo chopsticks after a single use, Ruby strode into the director's office, recalls community historian Betsy Lau. "We'll comply gladly," she said, "if every non-Asian restaurant also tossed once-used wooden salad bowls and serving implements." The health department caved. That instinct drove her to politics. When police raided a Chinatown family association on Chinese New Year 1973, hauling grandparents and children to jail for playing mahjong, Ruby called Mayor Wes Ullman. "What the hell do you think you're doing?" Within hours, the detainees were freed. She won a King County Council seat, becoming the first Asian American elected to that body, and served 3 terms. She died in 2008 at the age of 87, her heart finally failing her. By 1994, Seattle Times columnist Emmett Watson visited her at her Seward Park home. 5 notebooks of history filled the table. Ping looked down from opera portraits on the wall. Watson mentioned the International District, as Seattle then called the neighborhood. She cut him off. Chinatown. In our first then photo, in this damaged but evocative image, assembled workers pose on the Duwamish East Waterway docks of the San Juan Fishing and Packing Company, captured in 1935, 4 years after Ruby's father, Jim Marr, fled to China. Though many company employees were Chinese immigrants, none is shown here. In our second then photo, Ruby Chow and husband Ping Chow at their 50th wedding anniversary celebration. In our third then photo, Ruby Chow in the early years of her restaurant, ambitious, poised, and already defining her public presence with an elaborate upswept hairstyle. In our fourth then photo, in a treasured Chow family portrait from 1959, future action star Bruce Lee stands center in the back banquet room at Ruby Chow's restaurant. He taught kung fu there on Saturday mornings. Front row center, Brian Chow. Far right, Mark Chow, just over Brian's shoulder. Their sister, Cheryl Chow, who served on both the Seattle City Council and the Seattle School Board. Lee, Brian says, wanted us to call him Master. Lee lived in Seattle for more than 4 years. In our now photo, today, Terminal 30 on East Marginal Way, blocks south of Holgate Street, occupies the site where the San Juan Fishing and Packing Company once stood, and where Ruby Chow was born on June 6, 1920. Marking the spots are sons Mark Chow, left, and Brian Chow, flanking community activist Betty Lau.